Whoever believed that Jake Paul was going to win, that was an absolute fairy tale.
Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua is over. Thank God it's over. What a joke of a fight.
From the minute he got into that ring, to get on the back foot and just start running around, it was quite pathetic.
There was never a world in which Jake Paul was going to beat Anthony Joshua.
Jake Paul has been ruthlessly torn apart by boxing experts following his embarrassing loss to Anthony Joshua. What was once hyped as a pretty boy experiment came crashing down the moment real heavyweight power entered the ring. Analysts say the fight was a harsh reminder of the gap between internet-era confidence and elite-level boxing reality, where size, skill, and experience don't care about hype or bravado.
He's an idiot. There is no reason.
If Anthony Joshua puts 10-ounce gloves on and gets in a boxing ring and Jake Paul is in the other corner, this won't last long. This will last as long as Josh wants it to last.
And let's not pretend this outcome was shocking, because anyone with a basic understanding of boxing could see it coming from miles away. For years, Jake Paul has moved through the sport like a tourist, picking up moments, names, and headlines along the way. But this fight finally exposed the difference between dabbling in boxing and surviving at its highest level.
You can't lose to a guy that's perceived to be a YouTuber, even though today...
The pattern was always the same. Retired mixed martial artists, former champions well past their prime, and even athletes whose closest connection to punching came from other sports. Each fight followed a familiar formula: loud build-up viral clips, carefully selected opponents, and endless talk about changing the sport, all designed to blur the line between spectacle and real competition.
Jake Paul is concerned because that's not boxing. He was just trying to survive. And when you try to survive in a fight, then the other guy can't knock you out because you're not looking to win.
Then 2025 arrived, and suddenly Jake Paul found himself standing across the ring from Anthony Joshua, a former unified heavyweight champion, an Olympic gold medalist, and a fighter shaped by real battles, real losses, and real scars earned at the highest level of the sport.
Dude's got balls. Dude's got balls standing there with AJ, who had been off, so his chin is refreshed. He's ready to fight.
Joshua entered the fight with more than 25 professional victories, multiple heavyweight title reigns, and a resume that began with Olympic gold at the 2012 London Games. Jake Paul, by contrast, came in with just 13 professional bouts, none against active or former heavyweight champions, and none that truly required elite-level defense or ring discipline.
Get paid $90 million to just survive? He just survived. Like, he just ran around the ring.
The contrast wasn't subtle. From the opening bell, Joshua controlled the distance like a fighter who had been doing this at the highest level for over a decade. He set traps, dictated the pace, and allowed Paul to waste energy chasing moments that never came. The size difference told part of the story, but the experience gap told the rest. Paul spent fight week talking about knockouts and statements. Joshua simply showed up to do his job.
Anthony Joshua is trying to find him. As the fight goes longer, all those big actions, the shots, the big overhand rights, all those things were starting to fatigue Paul.
The early rounds were quiet in a dangerous way. Joshua stayed patient and composed, letting the ring slowly close in on Paul. Jake tried to project confidence, but his footwork told the truth, backing up, reacting late, and never fully in control. When the knockout came, it felt inevitable to anyone who had been honest about the matchup.
You know, you're gonna get knocked out anyway, dude. Like, I was hoping I could say, you know what, because he earned the respect of boxing fans by going out on his shield. The guy just ran for his life. I just watched Jake Paul run for his life for like 5-6 rounds.
I try to be responsible. I've been in this game 50 years, so I know where not to step, where you could twist an ankle, or worse, you could break.
One of the first voices people turned to was Teddy Atlas, and his message was brutally consistent with what he'd been saying all along. Heavyweight fundamentals do not forgive. At lighter weights, mistakes can sometimes be survived, but heavyweight, they almost never are.
I mean, this guy literally never tried to win a second of the fight. He was trying to throw a home run punch every once in a while. And notice every time he got in the clinch, he just went down. Like, he just hugged Anthony Joshua and then, like, would go down, and the referee would call it a slip and give him a break. And, like, he would just kill time that way.
At heavyweight, mistakes are punished instantly. Atlas explained that without elite defensive habits, the division itself becomes the opponent. You're not just fighting a man, but physics, mass, timing, and consequences. Jake Paul had never truly lived in that world until this night.
The way you beat a guy like that, you're not going to outbox him. If you're waiting on him and he's initiating and he's feinting you into counters and then he's countering the counter.
Even while I think a heavyweight has a chance in any fight, a puncher's chance, I don't think Jake Paul has anything for Anthony
Do you
Joshua.
respect him for taking it?
Yeah, you have to because that's terrifying.
Then came Carl Froch, who skipped diplomacy entirely. He reminded everyone that Paul had already lost to Tommy Fury, a cruiserweight who never reached British title level, and that loss alone showed where the ceiling was. If Paul struggled there, jumping straight to a former heavyweight champion wasn't ambition. It was denial. Froch stressed that progression exists in boxing for a reason, and this is a sport built to punish anyone who tries to skip levels.
He knocked him down twice. I thought the fight was going to be over because he was going to knock him down again.
The physical differences made the point even clearer. Joshua had a 100-pound weight advantage and over 6 inches of reach, giving him total control of range, of exchanges, and of when the violence occurred.
Honestly, what do you want the guy to do? I mean, this guy ran for his life in a 22 by 22 ring. That ring was huge. That ring was huge.
Experts quickly dismissed the idea of a puncher's chance. At heavyweight, that only works if both fighters have elite defensive skills. Without them, a puncher's chance turns into a puncher's risk.
It looked like that was the moment he was going to throw in the towel and say, you know what, I'm done, I'm injured, I'm hurt, I don't want to do that. But hats off to him, he got up and he kept fighting. We get to the 6th round and you can just tell that it's over.
Betting markets made it clear long before the fight. Joshua was a heavy favorite, with odds suggesting over an 85% chance to win. This wasn't disrespect. It was math. Experience, size, skill, and history matter. Hype and confidence do not.
In my life, I think my jaw is broken, by the way, so... Yeah. Let's go! It's definitely broke. But,
After the knockout, all eyes turned to Punch itself. Comparisons quickly emerged to Joshua's 2024 knockout of Francis Ngannou, which ended in under 3 rounds. Ngannou had never been knocked out before. Joshua delivered it cleanly and efficiently, with his right hand moving near 40 miles per hour, elite speed for a heavyweight carrying that much mass. When that punch lands, careers stop.
But Joshua just ate that. And I think when Anthony saw he could take those punches and they could really do no damage to him, it even boosted his confidence more. Because then he got even more reckless in his approach to getting after Paul.
Paul's problems were technical. He failed to adjust, walked into counters, and reacted too late. Commentators agreed that Joshua's right hand, the same that floored Ngannou, left no alternative outcome. Johnny Nelson summed it up. Anthony Joshua does not play touch boxing. Joshua's style is control first, damage second, no exhibition mentality, no shortcuts. Step in with him, and you face the consequences.
You knew that Anthony Joshua was going to eventually land something that hurt Jake Paul. And you know how you know the boxing world wanted it to be brutal? Because Rosendo was sitting here and he goes, I hope he gets knocked out bad.
The business side offered no excuse either. Simon Jordan was blunt, calling the challenge absurd despite any financial gain. He acknowledged the commercial success, but made it clear that money does not override competitive reality, focusing instead on legitimacy.
Anthony Joshua, who's now 5 inches bigger than you, maybe more, or 4 or 5 inches, and about 100 pounds heavier. You just don't go from there right up to there.
A 2-time heavyweight champion with Olympic pedigree is not a marketing prop, and treating him as such is how people get hurt. Jordan's view mattered because he understands both sports media and ownership. Not offended by the spectacle, he was concerned about the clear mismatch.
Punching heavyweight, and Fake Paul's never been in with a heavyweight. Like I said earlier, he lost to Tommy Fury, a cruiserweight. He lost to him. Tommy Fury's not even British level, so you can't chuck Fake Paul in with Anthony Joshua and take it serious.
The reaction grew harsher as even former supporters of crossover boxing pulled back. Fighters and commentators who once defended influencer bouts admitted this fight revealed a hard, structural ceiling. Curiosity and novelty can be sold, but you cannot bypass boxing's infrastructure and expect heavyweight outcomes to bend for you.
Because he got hit clean by one of the biggest punchers, acclaimed, a lot of accolades, world champion heavyweight, and he went down and didn't get up. And honestly,
the numbers confirmed the critics. Joshua entered pro boxing after a deep amateur career with over 150 bouts, building timing, defense, and survival instincts. Paul, by contrast, had no amateur background at all. That gap isn't bridged by confidence or training camps. It takes years. Joshua had them. Paul did not.
It was exactly what it needed to be tonight for this fight and for this fight. It was fun. It was crazy at times with the wrestling and all the grabbing and the clenching. The referee saying the fans didn't pay for this shit, all the dirty tactics.
Joshua's pro resume features multiple world title defenses and 12-round fights at elite pace against top competition. Paul, by contrast, had never gone beyond 8 rounds at that level. That difference is an academic. 8 and 12 rounds are different sports, especially at heavyweight, where the physical and mental toll rises sharply after the 8.
A guy that doesn't have the longest career, he's the only one outside of Conor McGregor that could fight this level of fight at his experience and draw in the type.
Financially, the fight confirmed what insiders suspected. Each fighter reportedly earned $40 to $50 million, proving the spectacle's commercial power. But the numbers also showed that money doesn't create competitive balance. Big paydays didn't make the matchup any closer. They just amplified the consequences.